The Orthodox Church trace its history back to the Apostles and Jesus Christ. Apostolic succession established the seats of patriarchy. Orthodoxy reached its golden age, or Byzantine Empire, when it spread to the Bulgarians, Serbs, and Russians. After the fall of Constantinople, it continued to flourish in Russia as well as within the Ottoman Empire, amongst the latter's Albanian, Bulgarian, Cypriot, Georgian, Greek, Romanian, Serbian, and Syrian Christian subject peoples. Numerous autocephalous churches have since been established in southern and eastern Europe. 4 stages of development can be distinguished in the history of the Orthodox churches. Early Christianity, which is roughly the first 3 centuries through the early age of Constantine the Great, constitutes the Apostolic and Ancient period. The Byzantine period, beginning with the first 7 ecumenical councils, comprises over 11 centuries from the First Council of Nicaea in 325 to the fall of Constantinople in 1453. The Ottoman period starts, roughly, for the Greek and Balkan communities in the 15th century with the fall of Constantinople, and ends about the year 1830, which marks Greek and Serbian independence from the Ottoman Empire. The last stage is the modern period. The Orthodox churches with the largest number of adherents in modern times are the Russian and the Romanian Orthodox churches. Early Christianity. Apostolic era Christianity first spread in the predominantly Greek-speaking eastern half of the Roman Empire. The apostles traveled extensively throughout the empire, establishing communities in major cities and regions, with the first community appearing in Jerusalem, followed by communities in Antioch, Ethiopia and others. Early growth also occurred in the 2 political centers of Rome and Greece, as well as in Byzantium. Orthodoxy believes in the apostolic succession that they believe was established by the apostles in the New Testament. This played a key role in the community's view of itself as the preserver of the original Christian tradition. Historically, the word church did not mean a building or housing structure but meant a community or gathering of like peoples. The original church or community of the East before the schisms comprised the Greek communities founded by St. Paul, the Antiochian, Asia Minor churches founded by St. Peter, the Coptic churches founded by St. Mark, the Syrian, along with the Byzantine, Georgian and Russian churches traditionally founded by St. Andrew, the Armenian Church, as well as the churches of Samaria and Judea traditionally founded by St. Jude and St. Bartholomew, the Church of Jerusalem founded by St. James. The Church of Rome by tradition was founded by both St. Peter and St. Paul. Systematic persecution of the early Christian Church caused it to become an underground movement. The first above-ground legal churches were built in Armenia. Armenia became the first country to legalize Christianity under King Tiridates III and also embrace it as the state religion in 310 AD. However, illegal churches before Christian legalization are mentioned throughout church history, for example, in the city of Nisibis during the persecutions of Diocletian. Of the underground churches that existed before legalization, some are recorded to have existed in the catacombs of Europe, i.e., catacombs of Rome, and also in Greece, and also in the underground cities of Anatolia such as Derinkuyu underground city. Also noteworthy are the Church of St. Peter in Antioch and the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Patristic age. Much of the official organizing of the ecclesiastical structure, clarifying true from false teachings, was done by the bishops of the Church. Their works are referred to as patristics. This tradition of clarification can be seen as established in the saints of the Orthodox Church referred to as the Apostolic Fathers. Bishops themselves established by apostolic succession. This also continued into the age when the practice of the religion of Christianity became legal. The biblical canon began with the officially accepted books of the Koine Greek Old Testament. This canon, called the Septuagint or 70, continues to be the Old Testament of the Orthodox faith, along with the New Testament's Good News, Revelations and Letters of the Apostles. The earliest text of the New Testament was written in Common or Koine Greek. The texts of the Old Testament had previously been translated into a single language, Koine Greek, in the time of Ptolemy II Philadelphus in 200 BC. The early Christians had no way to have a copy of the works that later became the canon and other church works accepted but not canonized. Much of the original church liturgical services functioned as a means of learning these works. Orthodox church services today continue to serve this educational function. The issue of collecting the various works of the Eastern churches and compiling them into a canon, each being confirmed as authentic text, was a long protracted process. Much of this process was motivated by a need to address various heresies. In many instances, heretical groups had themselves begun compiling and disseminating texts that they used to validate their positions that were not consistent with the text, history and traditions of the Orthodox faith. Divine liturgy, liturgical services, and in specific the Eucharist service, are based on repeating the actions of Jesus, using the bread and wine, and saying his words. The Church has the rest of the liturgical ritual being rooted in the Jewish Passover, Seder, and synagogue services, including the singing of hymns and reading from the Scriptures. The final uniformity of liturgical services became solidified after the Church established a biblical canon, being based on the apostolic constitutions and Clementine literature. Bible. In the Orthodox view, the Bible represents those texts approved by the Church for the purpose of conveying the most important parts of what it already believed. The oldest list of books for the canon is the Muratorian fragment dating to California, 170. The oldest complete canon of the Christian Bible was found at St. Catherine's Monastery and later sold to the British by the Soviets in 1933. Parts of the Codex are still considered stolen by the monastery even today. These texts were not universally considered canonical until the Church reviewed, edited, accepted and ratified them in 368 AD. Salvation or soteriology from the Orthodox perspective is achieved not by knowledge of Scripture but by being a member of the Church or community and cultivating phronema and theosis through participation in the Church or community. Pentarchy. By the 5th century, the ecclesiastical had evolved a hierarchical pentarchy, or system of 5 sees, with a settled order of precedence. Rome, as the ancient center and largest city of the empire, was given the presidency or primacy of honor within the pentarchy into which Christendom was now divided. Plainly, this system of patriarchs and metropolitans was exclusively the result of ecclesiastical legislation. There was nothing inherently divine in its origin. None of the 5 sees, in short, possessed its authority by divine right, though it was and is still held that the Patriarch of Rome was the first among equals. The original pentarchy of the ancient Roman Empire, East and West. Rome, currently in Italy, the only pentarch in the Western Roman Empire. The Roman pentarch is now better known as the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. Constantinople, currently in Turkey. Alexandria, currently in Egypt. Antioch, currently in Turkey. Jerusalem, currently in Israel. 2 patriarchs are noted to have been founded by St. Peter, the Patriarch of Rome and the Patriarch of Antioch. The Eastern churches accept Antioch as the church founded by St. Peter.